All right, everybody. We noticed the Gladiator is acting up again. I know. Y'all are starting to think this thing's a problem child. We were driving it yesterday and I noticed that it sounded like somebody had a system behind us, like a sound system or something, because I was kind of feeling like what I thought might have been bass. Didn't think much of it. Went further down the road, made some turns and everything. Got to our destination and I noticed it still felt like that. It's kind of like a weird surge every once in a while. So I started checking all the gauges on the Gladiator, and then I noticed what's doing it. I don't know exactly what the problem is yet, but I wanted to at least get you guys informed of what's going on. So we're on the battery voltage. I'll kind of let you watch the gauge here for just a few seconds and then listen close. You might be able to hear it. I'm not sure, so let's see. So when it's dropping down in the 13s, it's even gone down to 13.6 before. That's when you can feel the whole vehicle kind of start to shake a little. So, my plan to go about this, it just went to 13.4. I should have kept you guys watching it. Anyways, my plan, because these, I'm not sure the term that they use, but I do know that a lot of these newer vehicles are now going to an alternator that is like, I'm going to call it a smart alternator. It detects when it needs to charge more and when it can charge less to save fuel economy. It helps create less draw on the belt, on the serpentine belt and all that, by letting it basically free spin instead of actually generating the electricity or whatever. My first step that I'm going to do is go through, check all of the connections. I'm going to make sure that the alternator is tight, because not that long ago it was at a dealership getting lifters and camshaft done. I assume it probably was unhooked at that time. So I'm going to check all the connections from the alternator to the TIP'em, fuse panel, whatever you want to call it, under the hood. Make sure they're all good and tight, especially on the positive side. Make sure the battery terminals are good, tight, just to make sure something didn't get overlooked or wasn't tightened all the way. Like maybe he finger tightened the bolt or whatever and it kind of worked its way loose. And I'm going to hope it's a connection problem. Now, I'm also going to put the battery on a charger, because these newer vehicles, a lot of things stay alive when your vehicle's off and it'll draw you down. So I'm just going to do this while I'm talking here so you can really see it. I'm going to go through, check all those connections, because the alternators on these things are insane expensive. I didn't check around, just on AutoZone. They are, I think the cheapest one, and this is depending on what amperage your alternator is, was like $550 up to $650, because there's 3 different options for this 2020 Gladiator, supposedly. So that's a big chunk of change to be guessing. I am hoping it's a connection, but I'll take you along the ride, go through and check and see what we got. The weather has definitely made a turn for the worst. The best part is, last night was the first time it started snowing. So we're going to be doing it in the cold, because I don't want to go and deal with, you can probably see that gravel pile. It's buried in snow right now, right in front of the garage door. So to get in there and get squared into the garage is a pain. So I'm just going to do it outside. I'm going to shut this off though. We're going to hop out and we're going to deal with some snow. All right, just opened the hood, did a little clean off, got some of the snow off. I'm just going to use the hood prop rod. I'm not going to flip it all the way back so the light Doesn't look like it's too bad, so you'll be able to see what I'm checking. So right off the bat, I'm just gonna double check. It looks like I would assume they would have had to have popped this, you know, alternator off. There we go. It doesn't wiggle at all. It's good. And it looks like they did have it off. I can see marks where it's had a socket on there recently. The connection, the lock clip is pushed in. That's that red clip. It'll slide out. It is pushed in. It is on there. Just gonna check, make sure I don't see anything going on here. Checking the wires. Looks like they come close to the heater tubes, which could potentially cause a problem. But the connectors are all clipped in their factory spot, so I doubt that's a problem. All the factory clips are in place. This didn't get put back on. See, this is just little things. It's so easy to overlook when you're putting a vehicle back together. Oh, they bolt on nowadays. Anyway, so let's see here. Looks like there's no other bracket there, so I'm just going to clip this back in. You know, not a big deal. That's not what's causing our problem, unfortunately. I wish it was that easy. Okay. So, more things to kind of look at. And keep looking at wiring and stuff. I don't see anything jumping out. Okay, so, okay, whoa, there we go. Oh, I guess it's hard to tell. Battery terminal moves pretty easy. I could actually probably take it off. I know the video is going to be really hard to tell. But it's not very tight. The negative one is, looks like they lost a nut. You had to get a new nut. Anyways. Yeah, that could be a problem right there. That's enough movement to actually probably cause it to do some weird things. So I'll be tightening that up. Hopefully that's it. But I'm not done looking. Now that I'm already in here looking, I'm going to pop this cover, because this has to get a main power, and this feeds a lot of your vehicle too. I mean, it feeds all your vehicle, really. I don't know which one is which down here. I cannot see. I'm just going to make sure they all look good and tight. All these little nuts. That one doesn't have anything going to it, so it doesn't need to have the nut on there. These all seem good and tight. Grounds all look good and tight down here on the fender. I don't think he would have been in there either. So I am going to hope, more than hope, I'm going to pray it's just a loose connection. The other thing too, this is still an original battery, original Mopar battery. The life expectancy, I'm not sure what they say nowadays, because these newer vehicles have a lot more electronics. But the life expectancy is not that great on batteries. It's not uncommon to see one go bad in 3 years. Might be dealing with that. We already had to remove the auxiliary battery for the start-stop because it was causing problems. It was draining the main battery. I'm going to tighten that first, get the positive tight. I don't want that moving. That's not good. That can cause all kinds of silly little things. Probably even throw some fake codes inside. And then I'm going to put a battery charger on this and let it charge at a slow rate. Like 5 amp, something like that. Maybe 10 amp at max, you know, just something slow. Just to kind of bring her back up nice and easy. Even though it's a standard battery, the slower, the better. And we'll see. Hopefully, it's that simple. We'll see if I'm that lucky. Yep, that's not a one-hand process. So, anyways, I just wanted to grab the phone here real quick and show you a quick way, or, you know, a problem that I'm sure other people will have. And, you know, you don't have to freak out. We'll see what happens. I want to tighten the bolt. I'm pretty hopeful that it's actually going to fix the problem. So, I'm going to go get the garage keys, grab some tools. We'll do that, and I'll show you that. Well, I guess I don't really have to show you, really. On this battery terminal, you just got to tighten down that nut I'm pretty sure. Let me get closer here. Yeah, so this will actually cinch this together as you tighten it. Yeah, I'm wiggling it up right now, so it doesn't take much to move it. I'm gonna tighten that up. There's still a gap in there, so I should be able to tighten it. All right, enough rambling. I'm gonna go grab some tools. All right, 10 millimeter. Who would have thought, huh? You don't want to get crazy. Just want to snug it up some. And then we'll see if it wiggles anymore. Still got a little movement, so I'm gonna snug it up a little more. It's a small bolt, so you don't want to get crazy. I don't know what you'd end up doing if you snap it. You'd have to, well, hopefully you can replace that bolt. I don't know without taking it all apart. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, all right. So, bolt's tight. I already got the wrench out here, so I'm just gonna, barely got anything out of that, just a little, you know. Might as well. Yeah, they didn't take that off, so. All right, that's snugged up. So I'm gonna get the battery charger and we'll put it on. All right, so tightened it up, got the connections good and tight. I didn't want to run my long extension cord all the way over to my other drive, so I pulled it over here. Got it hooked up right to the battery, positive and negative. When I hooked it up, sitting here, it said 11.9 volts. But should note, when I fired it up and moved it over here, the voltage actually stayed steady at 14.7. So I didn't let it run long. I don't know if it's going to be fixed or not, but it stayed steady. It wasn't jumping up and down. Hopefully that was it. I know it's, you know, it's not going to read good on this, I'm sure, but this is saying that the battery is at 50% charge. I don't know how accurate this is, but that would be low. So that kind of goes what I was saying as well. These things will run batteries down. I mean, these aren't like the old vehicles where when you shut it off, everything dies. All these computers and modules and all this, they still draw power. So it's never a bad idea, like every 2 months or whatever, just charge your battery, especially if you have a winch and you use your winch off-road. Even with your engine running, use your winch, right? That's still going to draw more power and bring your battery down and whatnot on top of your everyday use. I recommend that often. Just put a charger on it, run it a slow charge. You don't want to go cranking 50 amps into it or anything, just a slow charge. Right now, this is just running at 2 amps, so we're gonna let it charge up. Hopefully it'll go all the way to 100%, and then we'll do another drive, kind of a conclusion drive. Another thing too, I don't know if you all have noticed, we have our own merch. I like the hat. It's actually stitched. It's not a stick-on vinyl thing. It's stitched in there. Nice quality. Mesh, snapback. So there's a love-hate on snapback. I think they're pretty awesome because this hat fits me. It'll fit a lot bigger head too. And it fits the kid. That's pretty good. Also, this sweatshirt, I know it's a zip up. I get it. But I'm particularly fond of having this. How it's off to the side. I kind of like that. I don't know. DRT, you know, Dirt Rock Team. It's also got the large logo on the back. It'll be a lot easier to show you on here. It's the same logo, only it's white. So, same design and everything, but it's white on the sweatshirt. Also, hoodies, t-shirts. Yeah, they're awesome. So, you can check that out. I'll pop back here in a little while and give you guys an update. All right, well, I've had this thing charging for almost 2 hours now, hour and a half. It's fully charged, back to 100%, so that's a win. I also had blown a cigarette lighter fuse a while back. Frank 52. So it goes right, you got the red 10 amp, it's a yellow 20 that goes right here. These are different kinds of fuses. They're like really tall mini fuses, so I got to go find that. We're all done charging. We'll find out if it cured it or not. Nice slow charge. Should have helped its life out and everything. So I'll get this buttoned up, and we'll probably just take this to go and see if it cured that problem. It doesn't need that 20 amp fuse to drive up and down the road. So yeah, we'll go and see what we got. All right, so went and drove it up to the parts store to get some fuses. Now it's just barely fluctuating 14.7, 14.8. As of right now, I'm gonna say that tightening that positive terminal and charging the battery corrected the problem. It drove fine. I haven't felt it do that weird vibration thing at all. Maybe it was just that simple. Hopefully. We'll keep you updated. But I'm gonna pop the fuse in, call this a done deal.